Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Cigar Guys podcast. We are here with the usual suspects. I have Jared. Wait, no, I don't. Jared's over there.
I'm right here.
I have Mark, Nikolai, Zachary, Nikolai, and Courtney Teekell is with us. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Perfect. And we are smoking the Hooten Young Operation Gothic Serpent. This is a Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper with Nicaraguan fillers. That's what it says on their website. I don't know much else. But we're here with Courtney because she's going to be talking about the whiskey side of this brand. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, focus more on the whiskey, which we haven't done an episode dedicated to whiskey yet. So this is actually the perfect way to start. But tell us, first of all, what you brought us to drink today.
So the cigar you're smoking right now, it's actually the 30th anniversary.
Ooh.
You guys have the rye. If you want to pull that bottle, I can just show it. It's empty because apparently they liked it.
Yes.
But so these pair together, and it's to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Operation Gothic Serpent, which I always assume people know, but for people who don't know, the movie Black Hawk Down, which I would say is a cult classic, is about Operation Gothic Serpent. So Hooten Young was founded by Tim Young and Norm Hooten, and Norm Hooten is the real life U.S. Army Master Sergeant, and he's Hoot from Black Hawk Down, who's played by Eric Bana. It's funny because he hates the fact that there's a movie about it. I don't even think he's seen it. He's like, I lived it. I have no interest in watching it. It's just theater. So the 30th anniversary was in October, so we made the cigar you guys are smoking with the rye.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the story, the genesis of Hooten Young. Tim Young, he's a civilian. Him and Norm met. They both had sons at West Point.
Okay.
So I think they met at like a parents association event or something like that, and they just hit it off. They're both. It's funny because they're so different. Like they call Tim like the mayor of Lake Nona. He lives in Lake Nona and he can get along with anyone. Norm's stoic. He's pretty quiet, but they're both just very good people down to it. They got along and they both were like, we love smoking and drinking together. They wanted to do something to celebrate. This was not a business idea. This was just a gift idea. They wanted to do something to celebrate Operation Gothic Serpent, like people who had served. So they made a cigar in homage to that. Again, this is not a business. This was just like a gift idea. And Tim Young has a lot of military affiliations. He's always been rooted. I think his dad was in the military. So they made a cigar. I think they made like 300 with a local guy. People loved him, ate it up, and they were like, wait, let's actually do this as a business. So that was in 2019. And then 2020, COVID hit. They came out with whiskey, which a lot of stuff sucked for COVID, like business-wise, but whiskey did not. It grew. People were home drinking a lot. So it kind of just took off from there. I guess flash forward to almost 2024. I've been with them for 3.5 years now, I want to say. Okay.
Pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah, since the beginning. They had started, when I came on, they had just launched their 12-year. It was like an old label, which some people still have out there. It's kind of a collector's item. But yeah, I've seen the growth since 2020, and it's really taken off. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And I remember, too, it's kind of funny you said how opposite Tim and you are.
For sure.
Because we were sitting at the event at Corona.
Yeah.
I talked to Young for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I meant to go say hi, and he's like, oh yeah, come sit down. And we're sitting there for 2 hours talking about random stuff, the company and all this stuff. Yeah.
Tim's great. I mean, he is definitely so he's CEO of the company. Norm is president, and together they make fantastic business leaders because, again, they are so different. And in business, you really need that. You need people who are going to butt heads. You need fights, really. So they both keep us really level-headed. Tim is definitely the sales guy. He loves to meet people. That's his thing, And sometimes I'm like, Tim, we got to get work done. He's like, no, I just, want to hang out with people and actually use the product. Yeah.
He's like, I am working.
Exactly.
I'm building connections.
It's funny because, working with Hooten Young is so fun because like a meeting, there's usually whiskey involved or, they're always smoking cigars. So it's more of a relaxed environment. So I'm lucky to work in this industry.
Yeah, that's why I like being in the cigar industry because, we're smoking cigars to work. Yeah. Or that's what we say at least.
For sure. I know. It's the thing about cigar smoking that I'm not a cigar smoker, but the thing I love about like the whole industry and being around it is the idea is that you're sitting down, hanging out and talking. That's usually people are enjoying cigars. So, and I was telling you, I used to work at a hookah lounge when I was in college for 2 years. So it was the same vibe. People would chill for hours and just enjoy each other. Like you just talk. And I mean, otherwise people don't do that anymore. We're all at home.
Yeah.
So
yeah, everyone either works from home or as soon as they leave work, they just stay home. They don't want to go out anymore.
I know. We're just
You know?
like, we've become all recluses. Like, so cigar, I mean, you live, I didn't realize you guys live right by Corona,
Yeah.
which is obviously the gathering place for people to do smoke and just enjoy each other's company. So it's just, yeah, it's a good vibe.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for us to go anywhere else too. Like
I'm
with
sure.
Corona being
Yeah.
right there, we have to be like, okay, we've been to Corona 3 times. Let's go here. Let's go there. So we're always trying to go to all the other lounges and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, having a Corona across the street is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So tell us too about the whiskey we're drinking right now.
So we are actually drinking Jack Carr. We did a collab with Jack Carr. We launched it in May. So Jack Carr is a retired Navy SEAL, and he always says first and foremost, he has obviously those deep military connections, but now he's an author, and that's where he loves to spend the majority of his time. So he's actually a New York Times repeated best-selling author. So he wrote, I don't know if you guys have heard of or seen The Terminalist with Chris Pratt on Amazon Prime.
I haven't seen it, but
You've
I've
heard
seen
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is that the train movie?
No, it's a show.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a series with Chris Pratt. It's a book, and so he turned it into a series.
Okay.
So just pretty organically, he took a liking to Hooten Young because of all of our military connections. And this was a few years ago. We had started to see him post about us and write about us. So eventually it actually became a thing, and his production crew asked us to send a bottle to the Terminalist set. So we did, and then eventually we just grew a relationship and decided to develop a whiskey together. So you guys are drinking the 16 year. It's 125 proof, but I always say it doesn't drink like 125 proof.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's
super
really
sweet.
good.
Like you're obviously it's high alcohol, so you're gonna get the twang, but it's our mash bill is really high in corn. It's 99% corn, 1% barley. So I mean, when you think about corn, think cornbread. It's sweeter, so it helps smoothen it and sweeten it without it being just like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
This I told you we just went to the Houston Whiskey Social, which was we weren't even going to put the 16 year out because it is a higher price point. We didn't assume people were going to buy into it. So we wanted to launch our 8 year and our 12 year there, but oh my God, this was the 16 year age statement is really sexy to people. So people were eating this or drinking this up at the Houston Whiskey Social. So that's what you guys are drinking. This is definitely one of my favorites.
I think it might be my new favorite.
Oh,
It's
nice.
Close to
I think so
the
also,
rye.
Yeah. Oh my God, the rye was so popular too. Yeah, the rye was. I didn't expect the rye to be such a hit. People came to our booth at the Houston Whiskey Social and were like, I'm not a rye person. And I was like, put aside all your previous thoughts and just try it. And they were like, wait, can I have more?
Yeah, like Alex is more of a rye person than I am. And I mean, I loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's really fantastic.
Yeah, that one's 95% rye, 5% barley. 6 year. We're actually going to come out with the 7 year next year. So it's still going to be, I mean, it's going to be really, really similar. We're just we're not going to have the 30th anniversary homage on that
Gotcha.
anymore.
Okay. Yeah, and the cigar is Hooten Young makes great cigars. This is one of the best ones too.
Oh, that's
in my
great.
opinion.
I'm glad to hear that.
It
Yeah.
pairs nicely with this whiskey too.
Yeah, we made the cigar. The cigar is really special to us because we made that with Eladio Diaz, and I know in the cigar industry there's a lot of respect. It's all about heritage and the respect of the process, and he taught us a lot because we are still novices in the industry and we've only been around since 2019. But Tim and some teammates actually went to the Dominican Republic. They met him, and he was all about like, I'm going to sit down and teach you. And when you meet a master blender, you have to come with no ego. Like you have to. So Tim came with his notebook. He's writing down all these notes. Eladio took a deep liking to him because he's like, you're actually here to learn. You don't really think you know everything some people do. So yeah, it's been a good partnership.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you kind of touched a little bit about when you started working with Hooten Young. Can you tell us a little bit about what got you into it, how that all worked out?
It's a funny story. I was living in Manhattan, working at an ad agency COVID hit, and my first employer out of college, locally in Orlando, who's an ad agency, I worked for him back, I don't know, 2014 or something. He reached out to me mid-COVID and said, hey, I'm an investor in this company called Hooten Young. Would you consider coming on to the team? We need someone to lead the marketing side. I was like, wait, I have a job. I'm like, no, I'm busy. And then I was like, well, you know what? I'm actually interested in going in the brand side. I've always been on the ad agency side my whole career, which is at that point, it was probably like 9 years in. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I jumped ship. I started contracting for them. It started small. I mean, I would just do kind of projects here and there. I think one of the first projects I did was we launched the Overlord cigar, and then the 2020 cigar, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, it started small, and then I ended up going full time with them. So, you know, flash forward to, I guess, 3.5 years later, so now I'm full time with them. But my title, it's a mouthful, and if you're having anything to drink, it's like impossible to say. I'm Senior VP of Operations and Brand. So we're a startup for sure. I mean, we're only a few years old, so and you guys probably all know this, everyone wears multiple hats. So that's what my title is. But I work very, very closely with the board. There's 4 people on our board. So I work and they're a great team. I love working for Hooten Young. I'm super lucky. It's a great company.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, and you've met most of them. It's small,
They're
but
pretty much all there.
Yeah, you didn't meet. I don't think you've met Norm. He wasn't at that event, but have you met him before?
Yeah. I think I met him once prior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but all the other guys were there.
Yeah. It's a good team for sure.
Do you run the social media too then, if you're part of the marketing?
So it's a mix. We work with an agency, actually the agency that manages Jack Carr, who's a fantastic agency. They're just amazing people. They manage our social media, but I'm the head of brand. So I have to oversee everything. So I work really, really closely with them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And eventually that job is going to come on you. You know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Or you're going to have to hire someone that does it for you.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because with social media, it's so crazy how much social media has grown. And coming from the ad agency side, I've just been in it for so long. I've been in it for 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
And social media used to be like people would hire their 15-year-old niece or nephew.
Yeah.
Like, oh, anyone could do it.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
super competitive.
It's crazy.
And it's like, a full-time job.
Yes, for sure. And it's one of the most important jobs because any company you go to, you're going to have the high up people saying, we need more Instagram followers, or like, why aren't we on TikTok?
Yeah.
I mean, our accountant is asking, why don't we have more followers? Like, you know, anyone who cares about the company and cares about growth is going to, you equate followers to dollars, which a lot of times it's true.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to see the shift in how and you guys, I'm sure all know this, how important social media is versus, I don't know, before it used to be kind of a cutesy thing, nice to have, let's post fun content, but now you really, really have to focus on it, and the consistency has to be there.
Yeah, it's definitely become way more important now.
Oh my God,
I mean, before, like you kind of said, it was mostly just branding to look nice, look more professional. But a lot of sales now come from social media, especially with TikTok now. People are selling, you know, a bunch of stuff on TikTok, whether it's through like Amazon or their website or whatever.
Well, it sucks because we're unique in the space because we are a whiskey and a cigar company. So you can't legally advertise cigars.
Yeah.
But you can advertise whiskey. But 2023, we had a lot of growth, especially in our Instagram. So we hit like 11,000 followers this year, which is a big milestone for us, definitely. But it sucks because Meta discovered that, we also sell cigars.
Yeah, so then they flagged you guys.
Yeah, so now we can't advertise. We're not allowed to do any paid advertising for Hooten Young as a brand. And I don't want to separate Hooten Young cigars and whiskey because then that's just
it's a whole nother challenge too.
Yeah, for sure. That's too much. So now we have to figure out more creative ways to get our name out there. And we're always gonna be a boutique name and brand.
Yeah. Like,
we're not gonna be Jack Daniels. You know, like we want to be the harder to find whiskey. We want to be the boutique cigar brand. So it almost motivates me and the team to get creative with how we advertise instead of just putting out a paid social ad. You know,
Right.
I don't want to give Facebook more money.
No, yeah.
We're the small guys, and so I want to. I don't know. Hooten Young's all about like we're team players, so it's like let's partner with other small guys, or let's become a force and figure out ways to get our collective name and message out there. So even doing stuff with you guys, you know, like let's both benefit from this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, even with us, like we started TikTok originally to showcase, you know, our cigar brand.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, we would always post in like informative videos, how to smoke a cigar, how to cut it, how to, you know, this and that. But it was a good way to just, oh, hey, this is our cigar. This is the base of cigar.
Yeah.
You know, this is how you cut it. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And then, I mean, that turned into having a podcast, having, you know, all this stuff. But yeah, it's so difficult, even with TikTok or YouTube, you know, they see your videos, they see one person comments a link to your website and then they flag your video, it gets taken down, or you get a strike on YouTube, or
it's
you
crazy. Or like you get shadow banned and you might
Yeah.
not even know that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's so many elements of there's so many things you don't realize will get flagged. Like we are a veteran founded brand. And so if you look at our website, you're gonna see grenades, you're gonna see just elements of the military. So I don't know, maybe a year ago, I posted we have some awesome photos and video content. One of my favorite parts of the job is leading that piece of the business. So when we came out with the Ma Deuce cigar, which is shaped like a 50 caliber bullet, I mean, the Ma Deuce is a very historic weapon in U.S. history. When we did the photo shoot to launch that product, we had bullets. Like obviously we needed to signify what we were actually promoting, which is a bullet shaped cigar. So I posted something to TikTok. Mind you, we don't have a TikTok anymore, but posted something and there was a bullet on it, which TikTok didn't like. But, you know, it's like, I don't know. There's just and I did have someone tell me, someone who worked or used to work for Jack Daniels and now she works for another big company I can't remember the name of, but she's like, just stay away from TikTok because you guys are a whiskey brand and you're just asking for trouble. People do it, but it's like, I don't know. I'm a very risk adverse person. So it's like, there's so many things you can get in trouble with. And I don't want to get in trouble with TikTok.
Yeah. And even for us, like TikTok in the beginning, we used to get videos taken down all the time.
Oh my God. You mean you go to your page and they'd just be deleted?
Yeah, they just be deleted.
Oh
I mean,
my
on our
God.
end, we could see it.
Yeah.
And they'd give you the reason why, because we're promoting like the trade of regulated goods or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they've been more lax on that. But we've had friends in the industry that their whole account just got deleted. No reason given.
And they probably put years into it or something.
Yeah. So no way to
That's
get it back. No way to
crazy.
appeal. So they would make a second one and the same thing would happen.
Yeah,
Like
YouTube,
2.0.
YouTube also.
Yeah.
With YouTube, they would just shut down the account. You know, no access.
And
to
is this
anything.
mostly cigar affiliations?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much,
Sucks. It sucks. There's a lot of regulations. I mean, a big win. I don't know if you guys had heard, but they wanted to regulate cigars like they do food, like with the FDA. But the case was dropped, which is big. It's very that's a big win for the cigar industry. But it's just crazy. I remember as a kid. I mean, we're probably all like roughly the same age. I mean, do you guys remember like you can go to Chili's and people were smoking cigarettes at Chili's?
Yeah.
It really wasn't that long ago.
No.
Like, there's plenty of restaurants.
Like,
that
you
could
remember
still
your
smoke in.
parents being like smoking or non-smoking?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? And now it's like we've gone the furthest from that. Like the industry is so regulated and we have to deal with it all the time and it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it, last podcast, how some states still allow smoking indoors, but only if it's cigars, like no cigarette smoking, no nothing.
Yeah.
But if you're a cigar lounge, you could serve, you know, full on steaks, sides, whatever, full meals.
Yeah.
Like in Michigan, you could do that.
So you can serve a steak dinner and people can smoke cigars. Man, those are the gems.
I know.
Those are the hidden gems of the world.
Yeah. So yeah, one cigar lounge that we have our cigars in. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And we're actually planning a trip up there, but it's a beautiful place. Full dining, full bar, full
my
humidor,
God.
everything like that.
Isn't that the best experience? That's a good like bachelor party place.
Yeah. We're pretty jealous.
Yeah.
Because too, like when COVID happened, at least this is how it happened in Florida, there was still some bars too, like in downtown Sanford where you could smoke inside.
Like cigarettes or cigars?
Cigarettes. I mean, you can smoke
anything
cigars
really,
too.
You can smoke cigarettes?
Yeah.
Not anymore though. They were strictly bars, right? So
Right.
they didn't serve food or anything.
Oh, true.
But then come COVID, they
Yeah.
all transferred their license to restaurant licenses so they could stay open.
True.
So then they all started serving food. And then even the ones that went
Yeah.
back and stopped serving food, they stopped smoking altogether. So it was like,
I'm not a smoker, but like I feel bad for those people. That's your enjoyment. I will say, like, side note, downtown Sanford is so fun.
It is. Yeah.
Like,
It's
the
awesome.
I mean, I think I had gone there. The last time I gone there was maybe pre-COVID. It just, I don't know. It's got a good vibe.
yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, especially after COVID, it's changing a lot right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a good time over there. We like going over there.
Yeah, it's fun there. I like it.
Here's a question you might get to when you're at events or whatever.
Yeah.
Is what's a good pairing for your cigars and whiskey?
It's funny because if you ask anyone on the team, they all pair well. But like, for example, our 2020 is really bold. So you're probably not going to want something that you're probably not going to want a very bold whiskey. You might want something a little bit lighter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to, I mean, I would say they have to complement each other. So let's say you're doing the 2020 Robusto, if you will. Maybe do that with our 8-year, maybe do that with our 12-year. The rye and the Gothic Serpent you're smoking right now, obviously those go hand in hand.
Yeah, I just tried some of it together, and it's amazing.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's awesome. A question we get asked a lot is like, what does your whiskey pair well with food wise? And I'll always say we're not a food pairing whiskey. We're more like after dinner. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not.
Maybe steak.
Yeah, sure, definitely. I mean, that's definitely you know that's a good experience, but it's kind of just like sit in the comfy chair, like I don't know, unbutton your pants after a good meal and just enjoy
relax.
and just relax. Yeah, for sure.
Jared, what are you drinking over there?
That's a very good question.
Are you empty-handed? You're empty-handed. You're
No,
empty-handed.
he's quick. Yeah, he's quick.
You said you don't drink.
Am I quick or did I ever hit any at all?
No, I think it was tiny. No, it disappeared.
It evaporated.
Yeah,
It evaporated. The high proof.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
not good. It's just so pure.
Yeah.
I'll take a
evaporated.
little more too.
Okay, sure,
Yeah, we're
absolutely. Yeah.
Let me finish this.
You're not saving that for
Okay.
anyone else, right?
No, I'm
And
gonna
then,
keep it for my husband. He'll drink the whole thing.
You know, we should be pouring this for you, to be honest with you.
It's okay.
yeah, you got it, Zach. You have an extra hand. No, but two, let's touch on the 8-year a little bit because I think this one's been overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, so we just launched the 8-year. What are we in? End of November.
yeah,
We just
yeah.
launched
Yeah.
that probably beginning of November.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. We do this thing at Hooten Young. We have a really fantastic relationship. This is something that differentiates us. We have a very fantastic relationship with. So we distill with MGP. So MGP, there's no secret behind that. MGP works with other very big brands in the whiskey and spirits space. So we have a contract with them. We buy a certain amount of barrels at a time. So a lot of times when we release something, we'll release a few different whiskeys at a time. So like this isn't getting the love it needs because we're also giving Jack Carr some love that launched only in May. So we'll probably do a big campaign for that next year. But the 8-year is our lowest. It's our lowest aged whiskey. So 8 years and then it goes 12, 15, 16. Actually, a rye is 6 years. Sorry about that. But that's an American whiskey. That's a rye whiskey. But the 8-year is 92 proof. Same mash bill, so 99% corn, 1% barley. That is here to stay. Well, some of our other whiskeys are limited releases.
Okay.
Jack Carr is limited. I think we're only doing like one more batch, if that.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, for sure. So people get your Jack Carr because that won't be around forever. So yeah, I'm really excited about the 8-year because so Hooten Young's always going to be a premium brand. Like I always say, we're not a party whiskey.
Yeah.
You know, we do suggest cocktails, but cocktails, we're not like a cocktail dominant type of whiskey because it is on it's on the pricier side.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you don't necessarily want to always mix it.
Right.
But this is our lowest price whiskey. I think it's in the $59 range or so. It depends where you buy it from. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. And it's a good way in. If you never had Hooten Young, it's like maybe pay a little bit less, try it, and then work your way up.
Yeah, so I think you were giving these out as samples
Yes.
for the event.
Yes, we were. We're giving that out. Probably some of the. Did you try the rye there at the Corona event?
So we bought the rye there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
we were able to purchase it.
That's
'cause We
awesome.
heard that it was like kind of pre-launch still.
Yeah, it was probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then next year, we'll be doing the 7-year rye. The one
Okay.
that you guys had was a 6-year.
Yeah. They were making I got an old fashioned with
Oh,
this.
good.
It was good. Yeah.
That's the perfect whiskey to mix.
Yeah.
Lower price point, whereas our Jack Carr, I mean, that's like, I think
You
it's
want to
like-
enjoy that as it is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I was telling people at the Houston Whiskey Social, when it's a higher age, higher proof, sometimes people are just quick to put water in it, put an ice cube in it, which like breaks my heart. And I hate seeing that because like even putting like one ice cube in it, like, is it nasty Florida water? Is it an ice cube that's kind of murky? So I always tell people, like, whatever whiskey you're drinking in our collection, I actually got this tip. We have a master somm on our team who's helped develop our products, and his name is George Miliotis. He owns Wine Bar George at Disney Springs. I don't know if you guys have ever been.
I've actually met him quite a few times.
Oh my god, I love him.
Yeah, he's amazing. I go to Wine Bar George kind of often.
Do you?
Yeah,
It's so great. I love it there. It's awesome there. But he gave me a tip, and he's like one of 269 world master sommeliers. So I just take everything he says very seriously. He said with whiskey, if you're ever inclined or know someone who's just gonna dump water in it or put an ice cube, take like an eyedropper and drop like one drop of water at a time. And it's almost like an experiment.
Yeah.
Because with each drop of water, you'll see how it just opens up and changes. Whereas if you put, a couple drops, like a couple splashes of water in it, it's a completely different product. You're proofing it down, essentially.
Yeah, even with an ice cube, over time it melts. So every sip is going to taste different.
Just watered down, icky.
Yeah.
I hate seeing people do that.
And I remember I don't know if you remember this, we did an event at Corona. I forgot.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the more they're doing that more, they give you the little dropper.
Yeah.
So it was a Belvini event.
Oh yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Balvenie
little
event.
droppers.
Yeah, so
good.
they gave us little eyedroppers, and I've always been taught to drink whiskey just straight.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
as you should.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when I got the eyedropper, I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is for. And then I don't know if Alex.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know if Alex told me or my brother told me or whatever. But they're like, yeah, no, you fill up with water.
Yeah.
And when you drink whiskey, you just drop in 1 drop, 2 drops until it opens up.
Yeah.
That's what you drink.
I think it's still more of a Scotch thing too, because
Yeah.
the flavor profile is a lot different, and I think the water helps open up the flavors more. Whereas a lot of whiskeys and bourbons, it already has so much flavor.
Yeah. I mean, Scotch is so smoky. I can see and I'm not a Scotch drinker. It's funny. I equate mezcal and Scotch as being like brothers in the wine and spirits industry, because they're both that just like deep smokiness profile.
Yeah.
I can imagine needing water with the Scotch. Whereas an American whiskey, they tend to go down smoother, a little bit easier. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, the best whiskey, the highest, even our 125 proof. I mean, I would love for everyone to enjoy it neat, but sometimes you do need a little bit of like 1 drop of water, 2 drops of water. It's a high proof.
Yeah. I mean, and even one thing that's great about us is we have all 3 of us have a completely different palate.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's
like
fun.
Alex likes ryes, Mark's likes scotches. I like high proof bourbons.
Yeah.
So it's like when we were pairing it with our cigar, we're trying to figure out, the flavor profiles, everything. When we finally consolidated our thoughts and came down with the cigar, it was that pairs well with almost anything.
Yeah. That probably took a lot. That was probably pretty hard with such different palates. That's probably not easy.
We got into a few arguments, I think
A couple fist fights.
Yeah.
Good.
I got a broken nose,
business,
Alex. Yeah, it is what it is. But
Well, that's like you said earlier. You got to butt heads.
You do.
Yeah.
I really love. It's fun. I work only with guys at Hooten Young. I'm the only female. I'm trying to think. No. There's one other female on the team. She doesn't live locally, but most of us live locally. So I just love the way that guys do business together, because you're either like making fun of each other, you're like giving each other shit,
Exactly.
or
all day.
or you're just. I mean, can I curse on this?
Yeah.
Or you're just saying like,
too late.
fuck you. No, what you just said was ridiculous. Like guys are just very straightforward, and that equates in personal and professional lives. So I love that. So I do love working, and I can be that way. I can. So it's funny because I'm leading the team, so I have to like sometimes. It's funny. Norm says it's like herding. What I do is like he says herding butterflies. So I have to be very straightforward with the guys in our team too. So
Yeah. But yeah,
It's
that
fun.
dynamic helps get things done a little quicker.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. And you have to be comfortable with each other. And I'm sure you guys have all known each other for years.
Yeah.
So that helps, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's been
Yeah,
like 2 months.
I'm sorry, how long?
2 months.
No. Have you guys? No.
No, I've known Alex since high school. I've known Mark since birth.
Yeah.
But,
Are you guys brothers?
we are.
Yeah.
Are you twins?
No,
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's my older brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got a tall gene. Kinda jealous.
It skipped a generation. So
Yeah.
my grandfather was really tall, and then it passed them, and then it got to me. So
It skips a generation.
hey, sometimes it's
It skips a
Interesting.
generation and a half, apparently.
I have a
Yeah.
kid. I just had a daughter. So I'm like, me and my husband are tall. I'm like, I hope she's tall. We'll
hopefully.
see. I
Probably,
know.
yeah.
We don't know.
But yeah, because your dad's a little on the shorter side.
Yeah,
So,
he's
Your
pretty
dad's
short.
short.
Yeah, he is.
He's short,
But,
yeah.
but then his brother, like
Tony,
yeah,
yeah.
he's as tall as me. He's like 6'3". You know,
Wait,
something
you're
like that.
6'3"?
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I just haven't seen you stand up very much.
Zach, stand up.
Wait,
I'm
since
kidding.
when?
Get a measuring tape.
You're gonna have to tilt the camera up.
We're gonna make the TikTok after. It's like, hey, can we test you? Like, make
yeah,
sure you're
yeah,
lying.
yeah. It's funny.
Hard.
I mean, I'm tall. I'm 5'8", I think, and in elementary, middle, high school, I hated being tall. So like, and all tall girls will say you'd slouch a little bit, but now it's like, oh, I love being tall.
So I mean, we used to work in restaurants, and it was a Giovanni's Italian restaurant. So anytime I would go into work, like the hostess, I remember I got into an argument with the hostess, and she's like, "You're not taller than Mark," and I'm like, "Yes, I am. I'm 6'3". She's like, "No, you're not. Like, I'm around you all day. I know how tall you are." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Let's check it out." So I was sitting down, so I stood up next to her, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you are tall." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just slouch a lot, because
Yeah.
like,
It's a tall thing.
yeah, I don't know if it's like
You gotta
when
reach
you're
for stuff.
We have to
Well-
look down to you short people.
Oh, yeah, it's so heavy too. It's like,
Yeah.
You know,
big ol' head.
when you're growing up, we have some respect and we want to get eye level with you.
Okay,
That's what it
yeah.
is.
Us people. Wait, how tall are you?
I'm like 5'11".
Yeah, you're taller than me.
Six foot on Tinder.
I'm tall in the girl world, but it's funny because my daughter's only a year, so I was recently pregnant, and they say when you're pregnant you lose like an inch or so, like your spine collapses or something.
So you're measuring yourself every day?
I literally, I had my husband.
You're
my
measuring your daughter.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you're measuring
I know.
yourself too.
Exactly. We're very, very big on height in my family, apparently.
So did you shrink?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I'm good.
nice,
I think
nice.
maybe when you
Yeah.
have the baby, you gain the extra inch. But it's weird. My dad is shrinking. I hope
Well,
he
that
doesn't.
happens
I hope
with
he
age.
doesn't see this, or maybe it's just because I got tall. Like I don't know. When when you're a kid, your parents look so tall to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not shrinking. Maybe I'm just an adult now.
I don't know.
Could be that, yeah.
Yeah.
I joke around with my mom all the time because like Albanian women, I feel like when they grow, when they start getting older, they start shrinking. And then like, so I joke around with her. I'm like, yeah, you're starting to get smaller.
Oh
you
my
know?
God, I know, and I
She's
hate
like,
it.
Stop it.
They
Then she beats your ass.
Yeah. They say our generation, my friend calls it, we have like buffalo neck. Have you guys heard of that?
Mm-mm.
No.
Because
No.
we're like on our phones all day. So
Oh,
it's like the
gotcha.
hump we're all getting. So sit up straight. I gotta work
No
on my
hump.
posture. Yeah. I just feel like it doesn't look natural to like sit up straight. Sometimes I just,
I mean, I feel like when you're walking, like I walk straight.
that's good.
I just feel like you'd be intimidated if I'm just staring at you like
Yeah.
But like when you're sitting down
I'd be
and
like,
talking
chill
to people,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you good, bro?
Yeah. Have a drink.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know a portion of the proceeds go towards veterans. the
Yeah, for
company.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of like annual partnerships. So one thing we do every year with it's with Folds of Honor. I love Folds of Honor because they're an amazing company. They provide education scholarships to the families and children of active deceased or disabled veteran families. So that's something we just did the Folds of Honor golf tournament a few weeks ago. We do that every Veterans Day. And then we do it's a lot of golf tournaments. It's funny because Norm and Tim don't really play golf, but it's a good crowd. So we do something with JSOC too, which Norm Hooten has a lot of ties to. So yeah, we've got and then like special operations forces. So we do a lot of regular partnerships, and I mean, it's my personal goal to see that we diversify who we work with. We just met a company called Project Delta, and they work to train, like they rescue and train dogs, for people with PTSD, which, I mean, there's amazing benefits that come out of that.
Yeah.
So, And we were just approached by a company called Seal Kids. So they provide support and tutoring for the kids of Navy SEALs. And there's so many facets when it comes to veteran aid organizations, because you can help. There's helping veterans, but then there's also helping the families of veterans or the families of people who are still serving.
Yeah.
You know, because you have their father or mother who's away, and what about the family? Like,
they're struggling too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I really liked about SEAL Kids specifically was, I mean, I just had a kid, so that definitely pulled at my heartstrings, but they're giving support to the kids of Navy SEALs. And so on one end, you're supporting the kid, but on another end, you're relieving some pressure off of the Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
So they're like, my son or daughter is being taken care of. I can focus on my job.
Yeah. One less thing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to like servicing our country, you know, and it's all about, in the military, it's all about being in the right headspace. So that provides major support. And then with Project Delta, what I love about them is once you get out, you know, there are so many resources, but I've learned people aren't necessarily comfortable in tapping into those resources. So a service dog, I mean, who doesn't love the support that a canine can provide you? I don't know if you guys have dogs. I have pets, and I know, I mean, they're just all emotional support animals. Unless they're being annoying and like eating your shoes or something, then they're like giving you stress.
Outside of that, then
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
My cat is like, when I'm on calls, she likes to turn up, and it's crazy. So that's my stressor. But no, I mean, I appreciate the support that they're providing to the veteran space for sure.
Yeah. I mean, even like animals, if you come home sad or
Yeah.
like stressed or whatever, like they notice it.
I know.
You know, and you lay down, you sit down, you're just trying to decompress.
Yeah.
They'll come up to you and be relaxed.
God,
you know?
it's the best.
Yeah.
I
So-
know.
So I know you said that we have the 7-year ride coming out
Yeah.
next.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else on the docket that you could share?
I can't share anything just yet, but we're actually in the works on developing a new cigar. I'm not
Okay.
going to release too many details, but we are going to be at PCA 2024. Are you guys going to PCA, or have you been to PCA?
So this will be our first year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 2024 is going to be your first year? Yeah, we went to 2023 was our first year. So we'll be at 2024. Our goal is to launch a prototype, if you will, or like a sample of the cigar. We're not going to have it ready by then, but we want to show people. So I'm really excited about that. It's actually insane because I'm sure you guys have heard PCA is wild.
Yeah.
It is
I've heard.
amazing. I mean, especially the fact that it's in Vegas. So you know it's going to be a big production.
Yeah.
So going into planning and hosting a booth at PCA, it's a lot of work. And then a few days later, we're doing a festival called Outlaws and Legends, which is a big country music fest in Abilene, Texas.
Okay.
Like typically they have Willie Nelson and other big names. I mean, it's like 18,000 people
Wow.
at 2024, and that's only a few days after PCA. So Hooten Young Whiskey and Cigars will be there. So yeah, and 2024 is a big year for us for
Yeah.
sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a pretty big year for a lot of people too. I mean, there's a bunch of different events.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
fact that they moved PCA up a little bit.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I know. But I mean, I think I will say, I do think it's better because PCA was in July this year,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, it was like 114 degrees or something, and it's unbearable. I wasn't there, but
Yeah.
I can imagine. And it's also really not good for the cigars.
Yeah,
Like
it's hot.
even,
Yeah.
you know, even taking the cigars from, I don't know, your car to the hotel or whatever, like I had heard they can blow up when you smoke them or
Yeah.
something. So March is a better time of year. It is going to be March Madness with basketball, so it's going to be a wild time. But I mean, I'm excited you guys are going. You're going to have fun. You're not hosting. You're just attending. Are you hosting anything?
It's up in the air.
Yeah.
We'll probably
We don't
know.
know. We haven't
Yeah.
decided yet.
Yeah, I
but,
mean, if you guys-
we're leaning on hosting, to be
Have
honest with you.
fun. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. And if you're willing to spend the money,
Yeah.
I know it's only a benefit,
Right.
you know, but whether you go or host, I mean, you guys are going to have a really good time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to
That's
that. for sure.
awesome. Oh my goodness. You're going to meet so many amazing people. That's great.
Yeah. If we go, we have to do the brand, the cigar brand, and the podcast as well. So we have 2 hats to wear.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know with those events, like people are ready to talk to
Yeah.
media. So like you can probably get some really even just quick, awesome sound bites there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we'll stop by the Hooten Young booth.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. We're
do some stuff.
I don't remember the booth number. I think 17403 or some random number. We just booked it, but I'll let you guys know where we're at.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, we're gonna be launching a press release in the next week or so about that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps up all our questions. So, do you have anything
Awesome.
else to add or pitch also where to go to find your products? And
Yeah,
everything like
so hootenyoung.com, we sell cigars, we sell whiskey there. The cigar space, easy, go online, buy our cigars. And the whiskey space, whiskey's, the regulations are tricky, so we can't ship to every state.
Mhm.
But if you go to our site, if you go to hootenyoung.com, you can find our whiskey. And if we can't ship to you, just email us. We can figure out a way to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of retailers too on there? I'm sure.
We have a list. So we have a list of, if you go to hootenyoung.com, top left, find Hooten Young whiskey near me. You can type in your zip. You'll find where you sell near bars or where we sell near local stores, lounges, etc. But if you guys want to know in the cigar space where we sell, I always suggest people just reach out to us in our contact us form.
Yeah.
You're looking for some. If you want to support like a local retailer and buy that way instead of buying online.
Okay, for
Yeah.
sure.
Did we ever get into how you actually got into whiskey?
No, but it's a funny question because I've been a whiskey drinker, for a while. Before working for Hooten Young, I specifically wanted to work in the wine and spirits because I knew people, and I used to work in the bar space back in college. Do you guys remember Night Library?
Yeah.
I do remember.
Yeah, UCF
It's still
days.
there.
Did you
Yes.
any of you go to UCF?
Yeah.
Yeah, so go Knights. I used to
Charge
work.
on?
Oh, I worked at the old library.
Wait, was it
Really?
all one?
Before they tore it down.
No.
Yeah. I worked at
Wow.
the old library. I definitely
Oh,
don't.
so you used to work at Meridian? Was that the
Yes!
hookah? Yeah. I used to go there.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. I could make a hookah with like my eyes closed. Like it's an art. It's not easy. It took a lot of training, and I did it so many times. We would work like 8-hour shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's so funny that you knew that.
Yeah.
R.I.P. They even closed the Tampa location down.
I didn't know they had a Tampa location.
Yeah, that was the first one. I was sad about that.
I used to go there and Mad Hatters.
Mad Hatters.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
part was
fun
crazy.
there. And then there was like, damn, what else? There was like Fubar and Scoop. And
Yeah,
like,
they're all in that little like strip.
oh my God. Now I guess now I feel like our generation goes to like Wally's, I feel like is the big bar now.
Wally's?
I keep
Wally's and
hearing
just
that
Milk
name,
District in general.
Yeah, they're cool.
Oh yeah. The milk district.
Yeah. So that seems to be the pop-in spot. But I mean, I've always kind of been around the wine and spirits space.
Yeah.
But I've had so many random clients in between. But it was nice to get back to that space. I had wanted to. And I had always wanted to go on the brand side. I only worked on the agency side, servicing brands. So to work for Hooten Young, I mean, it felt like the right time in my life to do that. And it's fun because it's a new brand. So to help grow that has been like a personal case study for myself,
I mean,
you know?
you're building something. You're building your image. You know, hey, I
Exactly.
helped build this company to what it is now.
Yeah, exactly. And my favorite thing in the whole entire world is branding. So, and we're a brand company, you know, like we're not just I mean, there's companies that's like, we're just a product and, you know, and that's it. Like, we don't have much of a story. Maybe it's a really good product, but they don't have a story to hang your hat on. So we're a very, very big brand forward company. So that to work on it every day is a blessing. I love it.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a great brand too, and you guys have great products.
Thank
I mean,
you.
everything that I've had, I have enjoyed.
Yeah,
So,
it's, you know, it makes it easier because if I didn't like their product, I don't know how I could work for
Exactly,
them
yeah.
every day. You know, I'd be embarrassed. So we're lucky. I mean, I'm definitely biased, you know, but I know like the festival we just went to, we were like lines. It was so busy, and that was other people telling me like, I feel like you guys are one of the most popular brands. Those are people who weren't even affiliated with us. So I feel like we're doing something right,
Yeah.
which is, it feels good.
I think it's okay to be biased as long
Yeah.
as you know
Yeah.
you have a good product.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you guys couldn't put out a cigar or a podcast episode or something unless you really, really could put your stamp of approval on it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the cigars, we gotta smoke them all the time. So if they're not good,
I know that
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, I'm sure you guys have smoked your fair share of bad cigars.
it has happened. Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
makes a cigar bad to you?
I think for me, flavor is a big thing, and sometimes it's hard to make a bad cigar like taste wise.
Yeah.
But it is possible, and people
Yeah.
have done it. But construction's a big thing too. 'Cause I mean,
Yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
no draw, or if it's like flaky and not burning right, that could mess up your entire experience too.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that was really learning lesson for us was we learned all about. So Tim and Norm and the team, they went to Nicaragua and they learned how to literally roll cigars. They went to the farms, they went to the factories, and like it is an art. And I wasn't there, but I heard all about it. And it's like there's so many people that touch the cigar before it gets to your hands, and the families and the generations of people. I mean, and these are all hand rolled. We'll never make a machine rolled cigar. So there's to make a good cigar, it takes a lot of skilled people who don't get enough attention.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people too that they see how it's done and they're like, oh, I could do that. I could take the leaves and roll them together. And then they do it.
Please.
And it looks like crap. It doesn't smoke.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it's for sure an art. And like, and we all have to remember in the cigar industry, like we are operating, again, these are foreign products. These are imports. So we're operating at the schedules of people in other countries. And they are artisans who are growing the tobacco, who are hand rolling the product. So a lot of, and you guys probably know this in the cigar industry, like things take time.
Yeah.
Whereas us as a country, we're just like now. And you, with aging whiskey, like you don't get products that are immediate. It takes a while. So the industry will teach you to be patient for sure.
Yeah. Especially like in the factories in the DR and Nicaragua. I mean, like end of December and beginning of January, they're closed down for the holidays. You know, they don't work. They go home with their families. Yeah.
We need to take seriously. Like we need siestas. Like I feel like our generation or our country or generation, we've all just gotten like now. And even just sitting down and enjoying a cigar makes you slow down. And that's what Hooten Young is so big on. It's like taking the time to slow down, reflect on people who have served in your life who are no longer here, reflect on like what you have in your life and what you're grateful for. So that's like being in the whiskey industry and the cigar industry. That's what I'm really grateful for, is like we're providing the medium for someone to sit and just like chill out.
Yeah.
You know, because we're all just a little too stressed, and I think it helps us all wind down.
Yeah. That's definitely why I like being in the cigar industry.
Yeah.
On a stressed day, I'll just be like,
I know, right?
Take
Isn't
a cigar,
great?
take a break.
I know, lower the blood pressure.
Exactly.
Because I think, honestly, in America, we all need it lowered.
I know.
I think we all have high blood
I'm
pressure.
telling you. I agree.
Hypertension.
Right?
You know?
I mean, getting here, the fucking traffic. I was like, my heartbeat's racing fast. I was like, hey, I could use
I'm
a
gonna
drink.
be late.
I know. My dad always said, like, don't be late. So even if I'm like not 5 minutes early, it's late to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
I know. It's very true. It's very true.
It's okay. I was late today too, so don't worry.
Yeah. But you were 6 minutes early, so you made the cutoff.
God, thank you. I wanted to be 20 minutes early, but my daughter, she decided to put a rock in her mouth. I don't know where she found a rock. She was literally in my office. Where did she find a rock? So we got it out.
It was a rock you stole from Knight's library.
Yeah, exactly.
As memento.
Yeah, it was a souvenir.
It sounds like there's a personal story tied to it.
There is, but you know, Knight's pub closed down.
I know.
They tore it down. But anyway, I have a brick from Knight's pub.
No, you don't.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
Wait, they got rid of Knight's Pub?
They tore down the whole building.
This was like a few years ago.
It wasn't. It was like 2 years ago.
I don't know
It was like
East Side
within
of
the
Orlando
last
anymore.
year.
Was it really within the last year?
Yeah, when they tore it down, they probably closed like a year and a half ago.
Do you know why?
Well, yeah, they're putting their student housing apartment complex there, and then they're gonna put storefronts.
Wow, that was like that part. I like love reminiscing on old Orlando because it's got such a sticky, icky history.
Sticky for sure.
Yeah. So like that part of Orlando has some ghosts to it.
Yeah.
For sure. Like that new complex is gonna have some drunk ghosts. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think one of my friends wore his like Yeezy Boost 350s or something like at pub once, and let's just say that was the last time he wore them.
Oh my god.
It's terrible.
I'm sure they probably smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk in there and you're just like,
yeah.
what is this smell?
I know.
Every time you walk in, you're like, why'd I come here? And then you start drinking and you're like, oh, I remember why.
Do you guys remember Devaney's? Do you guys remember Devaney's?
Where was it at?
That was like near Colonial. That was like University or Alpha and Colonial, something like that. That was like, I just feel like the old bars.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how businesses come in there after. You have to tear the building down.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the smell.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-mm. But it's what keeps. But the funny thing is, the smell is what keeps people coming back. Apparently.
And the sticky floor.
Yeah,
Smells
exactly.
familiar.
The sticky floor. Mhm.
When pub closed down, the last day, we all went, and just a bunch of old people in there looking at each other like, what are we doing in here?
Oh my God.
We're all reminiscing. That's what we're doing.
Everyone's looking at each
Yeah.
other like, oh man, I'm too
We're
old for
the
this.
old people now.
Yeah, they almost didn't let Mark in.
Yeah, for real.
I think once you get past a certain age, they start charging you $1
Probably.
per
Oh my
age.
God.
You know.
Absolutely. I know. Well, it's crazy now because I feel like downtown Orlando, it's just never bounced back from COVID.
No,
Not
it hasn't.
really. Yeah, it's tough out there. Yeah.
Well, they
It's-
put new laws and stuff, so a lot of bars are like closing down.
It's so crazy. Like there's bars, there are places that have been there that are like staples of Orlando history, like
Yeah.
Wall Street. That's where I met my
Yep.
husband, like, I mean, 8 years ago. And that
Yeah.
it was bumping then. Just to see it. I do think it's going to come back to life. I think everything has a cycle. And they are putting new places in there, I've heard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope. I do have high hopes for it because we need a downtown. Every big city needs a downtown, and that's what attracts tourists.
Yeah, I think it like shifts. So like, you know, when downtown falls and it goes into like Maitland, so people start going to Maitland a lot.
Yeah.
Or like
Local
like
spots.
yeah, they start going to more local
Can
spots.
you press it manually?
You know,
We're gonna wrap it up.
it's a good point because we
Yeah.
do need, like, it's a good point because Orlando was too centralized to downtown, and there was nothing really else. But now you have Milk District.
Yeah, yeah.
But now it's just kind of like, okay, what else? We need more things than just
yeah.
Milk. So even like downtown Sanford, I don't want to necessarily populate it too much because then it
Right.
becomes too busy. But like,
It's terrible. Don't go.
yeah, exactly. But like, I want people. I mean, I've lived in Orlando and I've lived away for a long time. So I just recently came back after COVID. I want people to know Orlando is not just Disney. And I
Yeah.
mean, we all live here, so
Yeah.
we all know that. But like, my hopes are high. I want to be the next Austin, and we
Yeah.
have potential. You know, like there's innovators here in the business space. Like, I mean, you know, in restaurants, in the restaurant industry specifically here. So I have high hopes that we can rebuild. It's not just downtown. You know, other places are responsible for attracting people too. But I do hope downtown can make it back.
Yeah, I think they will for sure.
Yeah,
So,
just
eventually.
yeah.
Eventually they'll come back.
It kind of takes like it's like who's the next generation of business leaders? Maybe it's a few years from now, but you know, you're going to get groups that assemble and open a few different spots at a time.
I think it's too kind of like what you said. People are starting to realize they need to take a break and relax a little bit. So maybe
Yeah.
they're going to like places that are a little slower,
For sure.
not
Yeah,
hustling
yeah.
and bustling
Yeah,
all
that's a
night.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think like I know because you know I hate going to a bar and you can't even hear people talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
But sometimes you want that
That's
too.
just- that's 'cause we're getting older.
you want like the loud plates where you just drink.
Yeah, you're just drinking, having
Yeah,
a good
just
time,
bum.
like, because you know,
Yeah.
what if you're going to your buddy's, you know, bachelorette party?
You're right,
It's like you
yeah.
just want to drink like that, but
You're right. Yeah, you need
it's
need
a give and
both.
take.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it's
But
an age
there's a-
thing. We're
yeah,
all
well,
just getting older
I
now.
was
So
saying-
it's-
I saw a
Y'all.
meme. I saw a meme, or maybe it was a comedian, like a montage of one of his skits, and he was like, you know, when you're in your 20s, you're like down to do anything. Like
Yeah.
I'll go anywhere, like grime of the grime. I'll go to this dirty bar or whatever. And then when someone invites you in your 30s, you're like, is it going to be loud?
yeah. Yeah.
Where do I park?
I was just saying that's why we go to Corona so much because it's sit down and talk to people.
It does seem
Yeah.
that was like when I met you, that was the first time I'd been to that Corona. It does seem like a really good mix of like there's definitely energy to
Yeah.
it, but you can just chill and
For
like
sure.
you can actually hear people and like feel like you're in a private setting while still having some good atmosphere there.
Exactly.
And honestly, we'll go anywhere in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
But then somehow we'll always end up at Corona,
Yeah.
just to sit down and like decompress what just
Yeah.
happened. You know?
That was me with Meridian. I
Yeah.
stopped working there, became a regular. I was like, wait, why am I here almost every night? Like, it's just because I wanted to be with my friends and just hang out. And it's
Yeah.
like, we
Yeah.
all need that space. So, I do imagine like the future of hospitality is probably changing too.
Yeah.
People don't only want those very loud bars. So, I mean, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Like, how does that space look? We'll see.
I mean, there's more speakeasies and stuff like
Yeah.
opening up too.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are wanting more of that
Yeah.
chill, but still like go out and have fun. Kind
I
of
feel
thing.
like speakeasies were the hit. Like you need a password to get in. What's the password? And then
Yeah.
it became like a little snobby. But now I feel like they're removing their secrecy a little bit because people are like, wait, no, I actually just want that. I want that
Right,
atmosphere.
yeah.
A good place in Orlando is
Mathers?
Yeah, oh for sure.
Yeah.
We did our first photo shoot there.
They do.
Maybe
That
our
place is
second.
cool.
Oh my god. I mean, it's stunning in there. And you guys probably haven't seen it like the daytime because it's not open. But we did like one of our first photo shoots there. Oh my god, it's beautiful in there.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
nice in
great
there.
spot. Sunroom is really nice too.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to Sunroom?
No.
Ever.
No, that's on like Mills, I think. I want to. It's just quieter. It's next to
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Rooster, the taco place.
Okay.
That's a good spot.
Okay, yeah. There's a place downtown that you need a password to get into. It's called Hanson's Shoe Repair.
I've never been there.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look on their Twitter, they have their password there every night.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I got married downtown. I got married at like have you ever heard of Club Paris?
No.
Okay, so I think
I've
it's
heard of
older
it.
than all of us because my husband's like 7 years older than me. So Club Paris is, I guess it's this bar. It's a beautiful venue. That Paris Hilton used to own or something, and apparently it was all pink. Very random that she owned a place in Orlando.
Yeah.
But they tore it down. It turned into like a ballroom, but they tore it down. I mean, they're tearing down a bunch downtown just to make way for new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Well,
changing.
but it's because all those old bars were there. You know, they can't.
Yeah.
They can't clean it. You know.
The stink. It's true.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Well, Courtney, thank you so much for coming on. Thank
Thanks
you for
for
sharing the
having me.
brand.
Yeah.
Hooten Young, great whiskey, great cigars. I mean, we love them. We obviously, as you saw, we had 2 bottles there
Yeah, I
that
love
we just
it.
finished.
Yeah, I
so.
appreciate it. We're also coming out with a merch store
Okay, cool.
any day now. You know how web development stuff is. We're working
Yeah.
on it. So I think, what are we, beginning of December almost? I think by the end of the year we'll be live. We're starting out with mostly cigar accessories. So,
Okay.
right up your alley. Lighters, cutters. We have a really good partnership with Firebird and Calibri. So for years, we've had a good partnership with them. So we've got a lot of co-branded stuff with them that we're going to launch. Some hats and tees, but we're going to come out with more of those probably next year.
You gotta make sure to send us some so we can.
I
promote it
will.
on here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Excited about that.
Yeah, thanks for the bottle too.
Yeah,
I'm
happy
sure
to
that'll
do
be
it.
gone next week. But, yeah.
Good. Keep it coming.
But yeah, and thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Cigar Guys podcast. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated when we upload new episodes. All our social media is in the description as well. Bunch of short clips for you to review. Check out HootenYoungCigars.com. That's right.
HootenYoung.com.
HootenYoung.com, excuse me. HootenYoung.com. All their stuff's on there. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.